Good morning, Azeroth. It is the 25th of March 2025. Grab your morning beverage and welcome to the stream. Today we'll be catching up on our Bountiful delves, clearing them out whilst grabbing some of the gear upgrades from the Pinnacle delve quest this week. Without further ado, let's get stuck in. Hope you're all doing well today. A bit of a grey day here in the UK, but take it steady, keep yourselves hydrated. You've got this. Now, I'm still pretty under the weather, I'm afraid to say. My apologies up front if commentary is a little diluted, but we'll do its best and keep it going. Let's get to these delves, shall we? What we got first? The mines. So we have the Pinnacle quest, as we mentioned, to get to this week as well, which will be hopefully a little bit of a bump of gear on the end of things. See how we get on. So we managed to, last week, do a tier 10. Not quite feeling tier 11 yet. I think another week of upgrades, potentially from these, and we'll be alright. Heyo, Bran. And let's be quick. This place gives me the willies. Well, look at him with his little tricorn going on. Make sure we get our Gouda. Our cola. I don't think I have any more of the bonus meals as of yet. You can take some of the other stuff that I've grabbed over time. Exterminator Janks. This looks like a new one. Looks all undermining. I fallen asleep for, Brian.
Yo!
Not webbed up. You were hired to address a grub infestation. Some of these squishy grubs are infested. Nobody said anything about Nerubians. You should definitely check it out anyway. Grab that gadget over there and it'll yank my guys free from those webs. Oh, watch out for the explosives, will you? Or don't, but do take some grubs out with you. Might as well get paid. Very well, I'll grab the gadget and we'll help your friends. Grappling grabber 9000, eh? Oh. Yoink. Good grief, there's webbing in places I don't want to mention. Are we pulling barrels towards us as well? What is all this? Ooh, we've got some new bits and bobs going on. Didn't think I'd make it. Smell you later. Watch your health, we are doing tier 10 after all. Grab those potions. It's these Frebmancers, that's the problem. Lots of damage. Yeah, I'm really able to put them down a wee bit faster compared to season 1's. Again, it's been a rough amount of time trying to get some sleep over the past days, so I am a little languid, for lack of a better term. Languid might not be the right term. But we'll see about getting through these delves. Having to concentrate. My brain power's a little bit on the lower side. All these web things respawn. There's a little more to this one, so I know we're only a room in, but even so.
Certainly makes the delve feel different. How many groups do we have to get? 3 more.
I'm out of range. It's too far away. They'll maybe use a knife.
Oh, shite. Might have been a bit premature on the bubble, but panicked. Those explodey barrels are doing a nice chunk of damage, though. I'm trying to get those involved. Certainly a little bit more to interact with. Those potions, Bran, thank you. After easing in stream as well, we got through the base version of Monster Hunter. Very much enjoyed it. Did a little bit the other weekend. Loads, just a little bit. I think they've established a really solid foundation. Looks maybe a little eager for more content. Difficult of the monsters, a point of contention. Optimization issues aside, I think time frame a lot of folks are focusing on. It's interesting because I look back at I've gone in and tried like just seeing where I got to on Rise, even at its high rank point. So it's where Wilds is right now. And what I find really interesting is that there's a lot of time just getting to the monster, getting the buff bugs that you need. And certainly I'm getting smacked about a little bit more, but I find a lot of that is my inability to reposition. Wire bugs certainly help with that compared to some of the older games, but there's an element of Wilds focus mode just lets me reposition in such a way that does make hunting a lot easier. Now obviously there's the wound system and knocking monsters down and keeping them knocked down, which you didn't really have before. Like, it's another level of keeping things buggered that you didn't have before, and it helps an awful lot. I ain't gonna diminish that at all. What remains to be seen is where they'll go with the title updates and how much they'll be able to bump the difficulty at that point. We know there's going to be a showcase today for about 15 minutes in the afternoon. Maybe 5 hours from now-ish, around then. Might have some more insight as to what's coming then. Eager to see, but opening up Rise and seeing the roster, I was like, oh, there's a load of monsters here I never actually fought. That I've never seen before in the series as well. And there was a sale on for Sunbreak. But I was like, do you know what? Feeling Monster Hunter-y. Switch game, so I don't have the capability to stream it, but happy to nip at it in my downtime. So I do love the series. Have for a long time. And just looking at the sheer amount of like event quests and bonus stuff available in that game, it makes me think, well, if Wilds get anywhere near this by the time it's all said and done, I think it'll be in a really, really good spot. Lots of stuff to go for. And it's like with anything when you're going week to week. You know, if you're a manga reader and you've been following One Piece for a long time, you know true and well how slow it can be week by week. But that first time through, when you're catching up to wherever it's at, there's so much content to just chew on. It's the exact same thing with a game like Monster Hunter. With so many live services these days anyway. How many more goblins are about? The other two up here? Go and find out. Oh, Hello, hello, hello. Beautiful barrel damage. Got some paperwork I need to be on the phone with and ringing up for today, so assuming that doesn't take me bloody 4 hours, plan is to start up this evening stream today with Kill Night. Get some of the tutorials and a couple of runs done. I still don't quite understand the full ins and outs of that game, but I'm really excited to give it a go. Ooh, that's not good. Ooh, yeah. There's no much black blood. One standing them. Find the barbs. Oh, give me them potions. Sorted. I think the biggest problem with tier 11 at this point is going to be just health and damage numbers. Mechanics wise, we're still not doing anything too crazy. It's the main thing I want to see from delves in expansions going forward. Honk, get them. Oh, they exploded into more bombs. Oh, they exploded into bombs, never mind. Bear that in mind. So great they don't notice the exploded barrel. Honk.
I'm out of range.
Beautiful. Honk. Oh. Jesus Christ. Well, I should have...
Let's use some harder hitting moves.
Brad, please.
It's too far away.
I should have realised if they're one-shotting all the enemies, they'll one-shot me, but bloody hell. I was like, oh, let's double back and try and get them to... Oh, I've timed it right. You saw the process happen. Seconds far too late. Dear oh dear. I'm assuming if we stand on these webs, it's going to summon a load of stuff, so let's not. Let's simply not. Stay close, tiny expanding egg. Quite get how. It's like Zerg creep. You know what I mean? How it would just spread from one of them little creep tumors you'd put down in StarCraft. I like the idea of hitting it and it going, closing in and getting bigger again. I think in StarCraft you had to go and kill one and then it would just remove the area. I like the idea for WoW. The biggest bug slain. I assume that's the regular boss we fought in here umpteen times.
I need to get closer. Smell that? It's treasure. I know it. We're close.
Where, Brad? You always say that and you're always full of shit. Unless he's not full of shit and I've just missed one.
It's too far away.
Oh, the respawn point was right bloody there. It's got to be another one of them barrels. Somewhat close enough. There we go. Way better. We got the respawn point. We used the barrel. We stunned the enemy. It's all good.
I need to target something first.
Well,
got all the other groups. Oh, dying, reset all my drink stuff. That's something to bear in mind. Or even the one Bram would give me for sitting down at the campfire. I'm going to have to think those through for the eventual underpin fight. In time. I think we'll give him a proper go this coming week after some gear upgrades. It's nice to actually give him a few runs, see what those mechanics are like, even on the baseline tier 8 version. I'm hoping it's not, oh, walk in, one and done. I mean, if it's difficult and I manage it, and I can feel pretty, you know, happy with myself thereafter, sure. If it's a cakewalk, though, I'll be disappointed. At least, you know, you don't want the first attempt to be a cakewalk, especially if they handle it like they did Zekfir, where there's enough mechanics that will just one-shot you pretty much, or close enough. Zekfir, you maybe got away with, on the tier 8 version, a couple, like 2 or 3 mistakes. On the other one, it was like 1 or 2. Why is a different boss in here? Fancy. I mean, it is just a big bug, but do you want me to use these bombs? Doink. No. Over here.
Don't hit us with that one.
Both darts. Can about manage one. Is that all the barrels? Brad, what is that? I must have just missed it. Thank you. That was a bad intro. Ooh, double curses. Bubble, just in case. Did it again.
That's more like it.
There we go.
I'll give you a hand with this one.
Oh, thanks, Bran. Runes and stones.
Now I'm making progress.
Oh, GG, Bran. Did we get that? Something epic happened, but... Oh, it was just XP. What's this one? That's... Robot dinosaurs. The impact one just still seems a... You know, more primary stats probably better. Another echo. Upgrade. How's that bell?
Nice fight.
Not as good. Right, let's head on to the next one. Bran's hat changed. Again. Maybe that's just when we die. He changes hat because he has to despawn and respawn. Right, next one along. Quick Falls Rest. Have a swig of his beverage. Make sure you all do the same out there. Keep yourselves hydrated. Oh, still very much warm. Delightful. How many valor points am I sitting on? Enough where at the end of the day I'm going to have to spend some on an upgrade so I don't cap out. I understand the need for caps so people don't just farm indefinitely, but... I've always been of the opinion if people do want to farm indefinitely, you've got so many other resources that are capped weekly. What's it matter if that one's done? But well, that's the same thing we've just seen with Monster Hunter. You get people who spend all that time farming and playing non-stop and really no life in a game, which I've done plenty of in my life, you know? That it gets to a point where you're just done with the content. But then it's the people who go and complain about it. Oh, this game has no content. I've only played it for 300 hours in the past 2 weeks somehow. It's a new one. About time you showed up. Glad to see you getting your hands dirty. We can help you investigate the kobolds here. Thanks, Uncle Bran. There's a lot I'd like to learn about the kobolds and their candles. I can't remember if I have done this one. Hello, I'm trying to collect wax from candles here and bring them back for study. That and get some hands-on experience with adventuring. It's fascinating, really. These candles seem to do an awful lot with seemingly normal wax. Everyone seems ready to launch into a long description about the kobolds. Oh, go on then. Everyone launches into a long explanation about the cobalt wax, where it comes from, where it goes. It's very clear these were all things he's researched in Ironforge and within Khazalgar with no real experience. Let's get going, Diagram. We'll collect some wax.
I need some time to think.
This is max health one. Got to have our Gouda. Be right behind you and Uncle Bran. I'm ready to learn. Rule number 1, Dagran. There's a fire. Don't stand in it. Got it. Is that an actual problem? More than you'd think, lad. Feels like a new one if they're referencing Bran's, like, dialogue from it. Candle. I don't see a meter for the candle this time around. Oh, I have a stack of candles. I can keep picking them up. Oh wait, it's actually dark and I can't see all the flame traps. Ooh, okay. These undermine ones actually doing something a little bit different, which I appreciate. Or does that mean I'm just going to die? If I wander into a flame trap, am I in trouble? Surely the giant flame-throwing candles will be giving off lights of their own. I mean, I get what you're going for with the mechanic, but that just seems a little bit... Okay. Make sure we're keeping Bran topped off. Oh, he's rocking a little monocle this time around. Fancy top hat. Bless him. Right, let us take this candle. Suspicious candles. I guess I have to keep picking these up. Right, so if they're all invisible, let's just experiment. Okay, I get close enough and I can see them. We need to have the light on so we're not losing a load of max health.
Smell that? It's treasure. I know it. We're close.
You always say that, Bran. Still close enough to my candle and not be debuffed. That looks alright. Don't mind darkness mechanics. I know people had very mixed feelings about one of the dungeons that was a mythic dungeon this time around. It's the one where you get chased in a minecart and the darkness follows you. I mean, I thought it was okay, but I can completely understand people's concern with it being one to do over and over and over again when there are like mini game sections. When it comes to dungeons and wanting quick efficiency, folks get very particular about bonus bits and bobs, especially when they're mandatory. My biggest gripe with it is, well, you didn't use the... From Hearthstone there was a card just called The Darkness, which very much wasn't just a big version of a Shah mob that we got for that dungeon. I'd have much rather they actually used that. It's a really cool bit of art. Mind you, it did look a lot more clearly like a void entity in that artwork. Maybe they wanted to keep it a little less intent. Pardon me. Right, this treasure is going to ambush me, so I put a little shield on. There you are. Thank you, Bran. But I know it's going to come and attack me. Every class has some defensives, right? So I suppose after the first time it happens, you're just ready. like a mimic where I could attack the chest ahead of time. I suppose then it would have to be that first time to actually get you, despite, you know, the shadow oozing out of it. Should be a clear enough indication. Because if it was just a red health bar, you'd know immediately. You'd be like, right, let's hit that before going towards it. There is the other route that some games go, where if you break a chest by hitting it with combat rather than locking it or something like that, you can destroy the contents. I imagine folks for WoW would get very, very upset by such a thing.
Let's have a quick sit down to recover.
Buff and buff. Oh, it's shuffing, Bran. A bit more Gouda. You going to eat yours, Bran?
Mine's just got to know.
His attributes, just in terms of how he behaves, can be very hit and miss. Like, we're sat here, I'm eating, it's taking a moment. He should be resting and healing up, but he's not. Right, keep moving on. Oh, I put the candle away. It feels like it's expecting me to lose candles, but... especially because there's more on the floor here. That would actually make it more difficult trying to manage that. The meters from prior times they've done this kind of thing were a little annoying, though. Having individual bits I can put down and mess up with, I think's better. But if you're going to keep giving me them to the point where it's not a problem, then, you know, it's kind of makes me indifferent to it. Also, we really need to do some research into cobalt technology. How do we create candle flamethrowers? Can we get some for Shaman? I can chuck them pretty far ahead of myself too. Here's a little diggy asset. Does one side have a handle and the other? Every asset I see now, I'm just like, player housing. Gonna put that in my yard outside. Especially the more they've got into it. It's very exciting stuff. So it's just everything now. Every single object they make. You wonder how far back that goes. Because they said, oh, you can add dyes to any of the objects we're making for the system. And that other things will have like a legacy icon. Saying, right, you can't dye this. It exists within the building blocks of player housing, right? But obviously it's been in development for some time. At what point have they started utilizing that? Is it stuff from the War Within? Will that count as legacy stuff? Or will it be being built with that dye system in mind? We have to assume the next expansion is, because player housing comes out beforehand. How far along? Given the apartment in Undermine, maybe that indicated stuff from there onwards? We'll have to see. It's still end of the year, but I think before what might be Legion time walking? What is most likely Legion time walking? It'd be pretty crazy at this point if it wasn't. And to be honest, I'm very excited to get into that. Depending. Because I've got alts of at least every race once now. That was my goal with Pandaria Remix, right? I have everyone's heritage armor, got all the appearance sets, marvellous. Done those heritage quests, which were fantastic for the most part. But if the Legion one's just like, make new character again and again and again and again, I'm like, well, my character select screen's going to be pretty full at some point. I always thought for Remix what would have been nice is, oh, let me put a character in there like you would say a season in Diablo or an ARPG. Where you slap your character in there for a bit and then they get ported back to the quote-unquote main server when such a thing is done. Problem with Legion is it is so very class-based. Am I going to have to do a load of grinding on every single class to get all of the fancy digs? All of the different transmogs? Faster ways to earn all the artifact weapon transmogs. And the ones that... I don't think they'll bring back ones that were... like hit a certain mythic rating or hit a certain PvP rating within those seasons, because people very much like their exclusive stuff. And don't worry, I've got my fair share of the elite sets this past season. Which it was a little arduous just to even earn 3 of them, but I'm glad I did for the colour schemes I was after. There's a lot of options in there, and God knows how much unused content will be in there too. That was one really fun bit about Pandaria Remix, was all of the transmogs and stuff that had just never been used before. Stuff that had been sat in the files for years. But Legion felt like such a banger of an expansion. You know, they got most of their... As far as we're aware, most of the content they wanted to get out. Whereas I think to something like Warlords of Draenor, where they missed or weren't able to release the entire middle section of that story, that feels like a much more interesting opportunity for a remix style thing. Because in theory, a lot of development work, don't think they could do it, especially when a load of those bonus content teams like Thunderstorm and Remix got bloody fired. Don't know if they've restaffed them in the meantime, but I doubt it. But the idea of them going back and really finishing up some of those stories, I think is a really cool idea. Again, I don't think it's necessarily feasible, but I'd love to see it. And again, just any expansion with a load of cosmetics. As much as we all love to hate on Shadowlands, God, a boatload of delicious, delicious cosmetics. And I have sod all of them, because I didn't go through and level alts in that expansion. I didn't do any of the other Covenant campaigns, and for most of its release cycle, it was a pain in the ass to swap. And I still don't know to this day if you go and collect the transmogs for the various Covenants, can a character use all of them? Do you have to go and pick a Covenant first before you can equip any of them? Don't know, and I'm not sure. I have to do a good old Google. That's assuming the weird bug that had Oribos and the questing into Shadowlands for alts has been fixed yet, because when this patch launched we assumed it would have been, but wasn't. Which was frustrating. Especially if you just want to go back and speak to a PvP vendor on an alt. Obviously my main can still go there and do it, because all those quests are done. There's nothing to kind of phase, but certainly a problem for alts. Hey up, before I take that big candle. For you hiding under there. Well-connected friend. What number's this? The last one. Don't call your agent, please. Your friend's already dead. Beautiful. Big candle. Peter Swan. Here's your next lesson, Dagran. And you've got to think on your feet when you're on an adventure, no hiding behind books. Is this in lieu of a boss, or is a boss in... Ah, it's still going to be a boss room by the looks of it. Waves of the little beggars. Lighted candle! Oh. And all the focus on them in some of the story elements of War Within. I hope to see more of the kobolds. I like them, alright? I've always liked them. Maybe that's part of starting off as the Alliance, having that little cobalt mine at the back of Northshire, having them screaming about their candles. Time to push deeper in. There's bound to be a few kobolds. Leaders below, making a mess of the place. Okay, Uncle Bran. I've got a lot of notes already. Good. Your ma knows you're doing all this. Right. Of course. Knows I went to study some of the Urban architecture. Well, I'll be in a heap of trouble for this one, sounds like. Bless him. Cheeky bit of treasure. Got to keep getting them for these drink buffs. Between Magni, Moira and Dagran, they had a good show in this expansion, the dwarves, when they do not always get one. And Magni's kind of been so one note beforehand. You know, story even called it out, didn't it? It was like, Azeroth put so much in me and now she's not saying shit, so now I'm just upset. And it got to the point where he's no longer a big diamond and what implications that might have for dwarven politics going forward. Especially if they ever want to bring up any faction disagreements and warfare even. I still completely understand Horde players, this expansion being like, we haven't really got much, have we? And maybe you could argue, well, Undermine's goblins. Goblins are on the Horde, but no, it's like they're all... Only one of the cartels is Horde. It doesn't really feel like a Horde, it feels like a goblin patch. You know, it doesn't feel like a Horde patch. Whereas I can see with the Arathi, with Illyria, with everything going on with the Earthen and the Dwarves, even though the Earthen can be either faction, it was always odd in PvP to see an Earthen running at you and go, that's a Horde Dwarf. But the implication always seems to be that there's going to be less and less faction boundaries, but... Short stories they were putting up, like that one Metzum voiced, rather than saying faction war is over and these old hatreds are a thing of the past and we're getting rid of them, it was more like, nope, these past hatreds are still very much here. No matter what adventures we go and do, they are still brewing back home with new factors and new actors on both sides. It was the Magar Orcs and... Oh, what was the place? It's where the Darkshore war fronts were happening. Where Plunderstorm's based. The Highlands? Yeah, Arathi Highlands. But it very much showed that they can reignite that war pretty much at any point. It's just one of those things where it's like, we've come together as player characters so often to fight existential threat. At what point are the vets, you know, character and in-game wise, going to be like, right, why are we fighting each other? Why are we doing this? Let's get all these powerful people together and just say no. Big AoE, bits on the floor. I don't mind the faction v faction story. It usually means we get more quests to do. Put me down. You know, having a quest line on both sides just meant more content. It meant stuff in Battle for Azeroth, like, you know, being able to get the wolf mount I have in Paladin armor, or Alliance armor I should say, but you know what I'm like. That kind of thing only happens when you have it on both sides and can incentivize going through. It's more to bulge. More for me to beast on. It's always my favourite part, going through the story for the first time. Like these tiny candles don't burn out either, so the fact I have 8 of them seems kind of redundant. I want them to not be afraid of punishing me outside of just more health number, more damage number. Happy to engage with more interesting mechanics, especially as a solo player. Like we saw with Awakening the Machine, there's an element of the player base who, the moment anything's even a little bit hard, go, ah, nerf it on a PTR before it launches. Oh, it was a new one, only by the fact I had never seen it. Nice. See if we get anything fancy. The hell is that? It's another random use item. I always forget to use any of these. I have a few of them about the place. I know, it just ends up being stuff that fills my bags and ends up getting deleted by the end of a patch. Nemesis box. Ooh. Bit of transmog. Oh, yes, please. Fancy back piece. Absolutely. And brand spells and abilities have a chance to commission the Pocket Factory to build a turret. Resist for 10 seconds.
Fantastic.
It's a combat one, though. How useful will that be for the underpin boss fella? Suppose it depends how many you builds at full rank of it. Still not as good as a primary stat bump, at least for now. We'll see when it gets fully upgraded. I need one more. Of course, some pants. And with much better pants.
Fantastic.
Football bombs. Not they're bothered by. Alright. 2 more delves to do. What have we got and where? Got the Spiral Weave down in Ashkahet. And we've got the Side Street Sluice in Undermine itself. Alright, what I'll do... nab to a flight point. Use that to take us down to Ashkahet. While we do, I'll take a quick bio break. Being efficient about it. Quick swig of his beverage. Make sure you're all doing the same. Keep yourselves hydrated. Oh. Right. Stretch your legs. Refill your beverage. I'll be back with you in just a few minutes. I'll see you soon. And we're back. Thank you for your patience. Just get my headset back on. We're still playing. Yeah. Oh, trial style person. I've already done your quest. Odd as it is. I just want you to flex while I take a few pictures. It's nothing fancy. You'll see those little lore icons and I'm livid. For whatever reason in this patch, it undid all of my progress for finding said lore items. On the one hand, it's one of those things you need for one of them warband screens to change that appearance, but having that I'd already done the vast majority of it, I'm just like, why is it reset? God damn it. Oh, hello again, Bran. Get your little Robin Hood hat. That was good. So we'll give us a beverage. Get out a can. And it's this one where we get ambushed, imprisoned, and whipped up. Thinking more on the Nerubians. I know we have the next 0.5 patch, which is going to include an offset of the remaining Nerubians that are still loyal to the recently deceased Ansarek. But given how the Siren Isle didn't really do much past its initial premise to actually make me intrigued about the story, it just kind of set up a lot of intrigue but then didn't really go anywhere. Unfortunately, there was a lot of questions raised but not many answered, which, sure, maybe that's not the point of a 0.5 patch, but the Nerubians specifically, I want to see where they end up thereafter. Are they going to be travelling to other cities? You know, oh, we're all friends now. I think we've mentioned before how the possibility in Last Titan of the reworked Northrend, there's certainly Nerubian zones there. Maybe some of not Ansareks, some of the Weaver's folks come with us. Maybe the Weaver herself comes with us. Or the Vizier. But I hope they're not just left to the wayside now that we're doing this trilogy of expansions. That follow-through allows them to take characters through the story a little more consistently, rather.
Your name.
Thank you, Spider. We will save some victims. And miscellaneous web. Let's see how the damage goes on this first one. Will indicate whether or not I have to be crowd controlling groups. If I stick to the potions, I'm okay. Obviously, as we don't stand and stuff. It's going to depend on the different mobs. I think that's what I remember about this one. Some mob packs are nastier than others. Yeah, have a potion.
Smell that? It's treasure. I know it.
It says webbed chest brand. It's probably dangerous. Underpins adoring fan. Let's get you out of the way. Mind the prezzies. Don't take a selfie. Smooth enough. I feel if they just added a couple of layers to some of these mechanics. And make those presents bounce around a bit, make the selfie one go out a couple of waves. Won't be blowing my mind in terms of difficulty, but it's just that little bit, you know, that little bit extra to be on your toes and be awake for. There you go. Underpin one, getting rid of some. These are the worst ones. Goddamn fish people. Hoibis, that's the name. I would have thought that the Hoibis would be coming back on like on the 11.2 patch, but given now we think it's all going to be ethereal based, going to Koresh, potentially, you know, the ethereal homeworld in ruins, one way or another. Doesn't seem like there's going to be much opportunity to do anything with the Koibis there. I mean, they've been introduced. We saw the big old gaudy fish tentacle monster from a side quest saying, when you come to the dark underneath the waves, or rather if you do, we will kill you. End of discussion. If your Arathi friends try and bring their light down here, that's going to be the end of it. You don't write that in there unless you know at some point we are going to take that gun off the bar, so to speak. But when we get to it, I think, is the more interesting question. Because unless they plan to do something with the Koibis in a 0.5 patch, which, after the ethereal stuff on another planet, ocean adventure? Question mark? That doesn't necessarily seem like the way we'd be going. Then trying to think throughout the next couple of expansions. Well, maybe in Midnight there's an element of something to do with Ashara that takes us underwater somewhere. Maybe it's more set up for the eventual Arathi expansion. Unless in Midnight we're invaded by the light of in some way. Urel from an alternate dimension comes in with the Arathi Empire and just tries to do us all. Certainly a possibility, but... Hang on, which way am I going? I'm confused. Must be this way. Oh, no. Right. Let's stun you. There we go. Once again, it'd be really disappointing if we never saw them for a huge amount of time. But we've... Oh, shit! He's here. This is a bad room to fight him in. Come over here. Come over here.
Give me back me hat, you menace.
You had enough time to give Bran that little bit of voiceover. More lines for Bran. More lines. We'll keep the bombs away. Just trying to indicate what mechanics when we actually do fight him will follow through. Zekfir had a couple when he invaded like this. Right, the bombs are far enough away, I think. Yeah. Oh, just. Oy. Keep that away. Oh, there's too many. There's too many. More difficult in his boss room, which I can only assume is going to be a small circle. How did we pull that with her? Shit. Bubble. I didn't need to bubble. That was a waste. Deal with this fish. Oh, because I repentance the fish, that's why. Bran's in trouble. Okay, we're good, we're good. Don't signal you cronies. Look like how upbeat the music is for it. Nearly got him though. Again, if it's like Zekvir, this will just be a couple of the mechanics teased. For Zekfir it was the dot and then maybe the bash on the ground. Zekfia felt more threatening just because he had that big resounding voice. I think the biggest disappointment for Zekfia, from my standpoint, was you then reused his model for a load of different stuff. If you want this to be our Delve pinnacle, right, you're treating it the same way you treat a dungeon boss or a raid boss in terms of importance to the player, then you need to have it be unique and not have X number of monsters, because there was just monsters in a dungeon that had the same model, as well as other important lore characters. Hey, I've already got boots that are the same level. They're both champion, aren't they? Yep. It just depends if I want crit or haste, but I'm not that stat invested. The pin here, he's, you know, he's wearing an outfit that's different, but he's still using a mech we're very used to this patch. Again, we're going to have to see when they get to Midnight's Delves, where they've got more of the system down. You know, they've had a while to really consider a lot of stuff. But that's certainly a big area of feedback I'd like to see changed. And I think with Zekfia, the fact he had, like, it wasn't even a quest line though. He just appeared after we did a delve, and Bram was like, oh, we really need to go and deal with this fella. And it felt like, right. But it's not like he was integral to the story. I suppose the counter-argument to that would be you don't really get every raid boss either showing up in the various story zones. You definitely don't see any of the... next to none of the dungeon bosses these days. I don't know, I think there's just an opportunity with Delves to do a little bit more of the storytelling there. If Ansarek for, you know, the base War Within was able to be something we could deal with after the epilogue scene, you know, we dealt with or pushed back Xalatath, had that cutscene with Valeria outside of a raid. Good from a story perspective. I want to get a beginning, middle, and end without having to do the raid. Especially as a solo player, you know, that's good for me. But that didn't mean Ansarek didn't mean anything either, you know. She still had her little epilogue at the end of it, same as Gallywix in this one.
That's more like it.
So you want it to feel important. You're going in here for a reason story-wise. Obviously you're helping characters out, you're helping NPCs out, sorting out bits and bobs for them. But for these big bosses at the end, like said Underpin, want it to be meaningful. Obviously in the 0.5 patches it's never going to be as, or rather the point patches, let's say, never going to be as impactful. Again, I think it's mainly time that's going to tell. I just hope Midnight is quite a step up for Delves in comparison to this baseline here, but I do have to give them the benefit of the doubt, and this is the first time we've got Delves for an expansion, you know? It's evergreen, it's continuing forward. That's a big deal. You know, it's a new pillar of the game, so they've got to find their footing. People vault Classic for a lot of reasons, but I know I feel like we've come a long way, even from my perspective, in terms of raid design. Even visually, Molten Core was big cavern. Nostalgic as it is for people. How many puppets we on? 2 more. How many undermine groups? 1 more nemesis. Oh, that all lines up quite nicely. little bonus map on as well for that extra chest at the end. Lovely stuff. Bring him down before he calls an agent. Why? I always wondered, it never happened with Zekfir. If there was just a chance the main Del's boss could show up a second time. Certainly catch me off guard if he could. Thought I was gone, did you? Wapa! Puppet Master. This one I think was fine. We just keep on top of our potions and avoid standing in webs. We should be alright. That orb had a really clear hitbox the first time, and then did not the second time. See, look at that. Odd. We just bugged. I don't think we ever dealt with this Puppet Master character, by the way. It's just in terms of a bounty style enemy. Just out and about. That seems fine. It's fun to see. It's reoccurring villains. You've got. I don't expect we'll get an expansion one day. The Puppet Master, you know, on the level of the Lich King or not like that. But you never know. We've got to build up new bins. Now that we're really getting past the point of everything in Warcraft 3, I think specifically by the end of the World Soul Saga, we are wrapping up all the history of Warcraft from that point. Everything with the Titans, everything that's come up since, everything we knew and believed. All the places we know. So where do we go from here is a fascinating thing. I think not a cop-out, but it would just be really fun if we get to the end of Last Titan, they're like, right, and before the next War expansion is Warcraft 4. Set up all the next things, the next 20 years of World of Warcraft. I don't know, part of me's tickled by the idea. I think it'd be fun to see. I'd love to see him do another. I've said it many times. I'd love to see another RTS from him. What team would work on it, though, is a different matter. Obviously, being under Microsoft, maybe they get the Age of Empires team involved. Something like that. Not completely unheard of. They have studios jumping over and doing all kinds of stuff. You've got, obviously, the new Fable is being made by the folks who make Forza. Which means it's probably going to be a very, very pretty game. Especially from what we've seen so far. I'm very excited about it. I know they had to delay it again, but yeah. Delay it. Let us have better games. Even if they take longer. Obviously, be careful where you announce stuff. You don't want an Elder Scrolls 6 situation where you announce it so many years in advance, you might as well not have. And that's the problem when people don't shut up about wanting a game. At some point, you're like, right, when do we tell people? Well, if we don't tell them, they're just gonna keep asking and assume it's never coming.
Fantastic.
Ooh, that's an upgrade. It's a small upgrade. It's an upgrade. It has a third stat on it as well. It's pretty good. And the hidden trove. Oh, the big gilded crests. Nice. Helmet's a hero piece. You'll love to see it. And that's some good upgrades. We're not even done with the day. We got one more to go. More options to consider down the line. Where's the escape robot? I suppose we don't need it when the exit's right here. still enjoy the creeping Nerubian music. Alright, we got one more to do, and it's the one in Undermine. Excuse me. Easiest way back. Head to Donegal, go through the portal, hit up the sluice gate, head back to Donegal, handing out the quests. We've made good time with these today, to be fair. Maybe we take a look at the underpin fella today.
I need a target.
Undermine has no business looking like
Yeah,
this. Clear out these
I'm a little
treasures
wired,
and
to be
their
fair.
litterlings.
I don't want to have to consider a load of mechanics. A load of world quests have respawned as well. Could bang out some world quests before I finish up for the day. Oh no, but they're still on for... They'll be up for tomorrow. Not all of them will be up for tomorrow. Hang on then. Let me knock out a couple of world quests. 17 hours, 17 hours. That one's 2 days. That one's still going to be up. Won't need to take long, neighbour. Break up the pace from the delves for just a moment, then we'll get back to that last one. I realise at some point, if I want to get all these reps done before the next big patch, I do need to start making a little bit of faster progress with them. I think maybe if I was doing it on alts as well, that would help. I have to look up some videos and guides, but honestly, I'm not too bothered. Like, none of the rewards at the end of any of their tracks are... You know, the more that I think about it, there's no need to rush about for world quests. Because I'm not actually that bothered about getting too exalted. Do the content because it's here. Other than the Dark Fuse one, that's going to be one of those farms that I think I'll be coming back to for a long time. Because it's a black trench coat, for God's sakes, and my younger self needs me to have it.
Finally. Maybe now we can keep this place clean. Tourism's taking a big hit with all this violence. Get some pictures.
Nah, I'll stick to the delve for now. I'm feeling up to it later. Maybe I do some off stream and just hit up those world quests, but I say I got stuff to do today, so I'd rather go through and get it done, as it were. No. I don't think I've done every single one of these as of yet. This is the teleporty one. Bran, what are you doing? Let's make this campfire.
Smell that? It's treasure. I know it. We're close.
Every time you say it, Bran, I don't believe you. Because I can never bloody see it. There's our Gouda. And there's our drink. Down we go. Avoid dead punches. It didn't even seem that bad if I were to just sit in them. Ow, I say that, then immediately regret it. boxes. There you are. It felt like I was taking a lot of damage. That targeting betrays me again. Shot at the further target. Why? Ooh. I'm sure we were out of range for that. Ram didn't take much damage though, which is a pleasant bonus. The problem with these traps aren't exactly difficult to walk through either, so I don't need to teleport around. Make it impassable, or make it leave a dot that lingers for too long. Maybe that might come across as more annoying than interesting, but no, at the moment a lot of things feel more like I can... Oh shit. I had to open my big mouth about how easy content is. Ran out to emergency supply, that's not good.
Hang in there. It can't end like
Good
this.
God. They beat me to shit.
I know you can do better than that.
Excuse me, Brad?
Nice
You cheeky
fight.
bastard. He doesn't put the cola out again. Okay, so we need to swap. Which ability he does. That's kind of frustrating that it's almost a win more. It's only for 30 seconds, I don't like that. This one where he gets elite creature to come jump with us because we've got it fully maxed. Right, let's see if this time I can get him. Oh, it's because they were both nemesis enemies, so the auto attack damage was just going to be higher. I went in the way and pulled too many dudes. No, but it's not like they were difficult because there was things to be aware of. It was just, oh, they all hit hard and numbers are higher. And that will forever be the least interesting difficulty in any video game. Obviously, that's what you're built on at some point.
You won't hit us with that one.
At some point, that's what all of it is built on. It's just, you know, based on the game, when the sandbox available can do more, I just want it to do more. At least it's not as bad as some fighting games and strategy games where the enemy AI then just cheats. You know what I mean? In a fighting game, it will just read your moves ahead of time as you're inputting them. I know there's a specific word for it. And that's a nightmare, and that doesn't feel fun, but, you know, mainly it was for way back when you were in an arcade, keep you playing, keep you going. Get frustrated, bob another quarter in. Like strategy games, like even Total War, Warhammer, which I have a great fondness for. The higher difficulties, the enemies will just cheat, both on resources and in battles, and it's like, why am I playing on a higher difficulty when all it's doing is making me stressed for no reason? You know, it's not for the challenge. Like, there is a challenge element there, sure, and I'm sure plenty of people enjoy that challenge. It's just the fact the enemy has to cheat and not obey the game's rules in the way the player has to. Interesting, in an RPG or something, a boss that doesn't follow the rules, but in those cases where it's every enemy on the map, it just takes that piss a wee little bit. Just a wee little bit. It's rare around here somewhere. You over there. I need to get to somehow.
That's treasure close by.
I saw it, Bram, but we don't need it. Whee! Grand. What is that placement? Come on. Near my feet, please. Almost looked like a T-pose for a second, just went straight up. Yeah. No cannons for you, Menace. I remind myself to keep half an eye on OBS just because sometimes chooses to be pissy with me. It'll be alright so far. There's one change I made on my end, which is where I was pulling the thumbnail file from. It was originally on like Dropbox because I was just pulling them over from the iPad where I was making them. And occasionally it wouldn't work properly. It would start up a stream, I'd have to close the stream and restart a stream. Bit of a nightmare. Bit fiddly. But just pulling them onto my computer directly, it seems to have stopped that issue. You know, touch wood. At least it hasn't happened since, so I'm hoping that's just a win for Barrow. Beautiful. More boxes. Why did that little goblin mech have a scream programmed in? That seems a bit upsetting. What's first? Thank you, T-Rex. Who's there? My eyes going bloody bleary. It's what you get if you haven't slept for a day.
Fantastic.
But I'm more lucid than I was the past few days and over the weekend. Honestly, don't know what it is. On the physical side of it, I have absolutely done something, and I'm trying to change my seating, like my setup in terms of my seating position today. Just because whatever I was doing, however I was sitting, my left shoulder has just been in agony, which has not been helping with sleep. Because no matter where I position myself, I'm one of those people that lie on the stomach, arms in the pillows above, left or right, rotate occasionally. Can't sleep on my back. Unless I do it by accident. Which is usually, you know, when you like, I'm just going to take 5 minutes on the bed here, and then end up passing out. Otherwise, I kind of sleep that way. Same with being on my side, not really. It has to be that lay flat. And I don't know if you ever tried sleeping laying flat on your stomach. You're just one of those who, you know, does sleep on their back or whatnot. It's very difficult to just have your arms like directly down your sides. It doesn't really work. It doesn't for me. I've been advised seek out a sleep specialist at some point if it continues. We'll see how we go. I'm hoping changing my setup here takes the strain off whatever it was, because certainly I know the position I was in before had my arm at an odd angle for where my screen is and that, and I don't know if the position other than completely whacking my mic, if the position I have things in now is any better, but I'm hoping so. Dear God, it has not been pleasant. On top of whatever's been making me just groggy and off kilter. You know, I've not been in dire peril or nothing. Not been hurling my guts out every night, but just this constant rough feeling. And then as I'm not getting sleep, that's just kind of compounded. I heard there was a few bugs going around, but it don't feel like the bloody flu. Those mysteries. Speaking of, let me just stretch that arm. That's the other thing. Got an aunt who's a nurse. Give some suggestions. On some stretches to do. Take the edge off. Oh, we've got 2 of the little blaters now.
Quickly.
Well, having 2 of them for 100% of their capabilities seems decent. I don't know how that would work for the underpin. I think it was Bran summons himself at that point. Haven't seen it activate yet, though. Fine. Yeah. Worth it. Carving a monster's tail in front of the monster hunter. I'll show him that level of disrespect. Right, what are you doing? Don't stand in the garbage. Honestly, wasting a lay on hands on you, you cheeky blater. The amount of times he tells us not to stand in shit. What are you doing? Oh, look, the 2 little pyroprints are here. They are getting involved. Please. Oh, I'm going to bubble and grab those. Starting to run out of space, which I like. Okay, not permanent though. Oh, what happened to Bran's health for a moment? It disappeared. This might be a time to use a Healy potion. Yeah, I can do it. Yep, here we go. Doesn't tick fast enough to just do me in. Usually it's putting Bran on like 1 health. He's not dying immediately. For whatever reason. Bugger's tanky though. That's what I worried about. If we were on tier 11, would Bran just be getting downed here rather than... Mostly okay.
Nothing old Bran can't get through.
Oh, well done, Bran. Did I miss a nemesis? God damn it. Well, that sucks.
Here and recover some of
That's the problem with this one. There's so many vertical up and down rooms that I should have just checked. That's alright. Still get our bountiful loot. Ooh, trinket. Avoidance is a tank thing though, isn't it? Not as good as my others anyway. Got gold and best foot bomb one.
That's more like it.
Sure. Right, that's us done and sorted with our delves for today though. Let me go have a glance at the underpin. See where we're at.
Look around. There's treasure here.
Don't believe you, Brant. Just a glance. Let's just go have a glance at the top there. Meh. How to get there is another matter. Back of the arena or up and around? I'm gonna assume up and around. Oh, bid. Give. You scumbags ruining my dumpster diving. Thank you. Okay, okay. Yeah, we get around that way. Around the beach. Ooh.
How you doing, pal?
And they got, I wonder if there are any more flight passes I've just missed. Get rid of some of my garbage. All the soulbound stuff. That was a vendor once, can't sell that. Lovely jubbly.
Won't find better.
I guess we go have a look then. I have hearty meat and potatoes, but I have regular meat and potatoes. Do the basic tier 1 first. The Underpin has been known to stomp out rivals and sold out matches within the Demolition Dome. See if we can do your baseline 1 brand, get your hat back. Oh, Johnny Awesome's here from Ubertown. I thought you died. That Underpin is seriously tough. Be careful, Bran. Oh, you think so? Maybe take a wee breather for a fortnight. Or a forever. See, like, if he had the voice line to be like, give me my hat back, why didn't he have a voice line here? It's... Explain to me, Blizzard. Explain to me why those limitations are in place. Alright, let's see first if this one actually works on the boss. I'll keep the combat curio for now. I won't do one of my other losable food buffs yet. Let's go actually have a look. Pretty big deal.
Under mine belongs to me, the Underpin. Even his sweet hat.
Oh.
I got a deed for these delves signed by Gallywix. Does that say Gallywax? Ah, you know what? It don't matter.
Okay. It's a big arena, especially against Zekfir felt way smaller than this. Let's have a gander.
The Underpin of these parts. You're small potatoes. Ow! Blast you for what you've done.
Damage seems alright.
Say hello to all my friends.
Please. Whoa! That was nasty. Oh, his cronies are shooting big beams. Okay. I'll kill him though, because he might summon more. Ooh, keeping track of all these and picking up Brand's things are a little bit of a problem. As well as the bombs going off. Oh, wait. Kicking the bombs do damage to him. Does it do damage to him? It does. Okay, that's a big deal. That's a big discovery. Oh. Nah, that'd have killed me on the other difficulty.
Hang in there. Keepers
Yikes.
preserve you.
Okay, that's me trying to make use of the bombs and getting absolutely
Keep a
flummoxed all over the
strategy
place.
in mind for the next fight.
That's another bit of new dialogue. Cheers, Bran. Tell you what, we'll give it another couple of goes, and then I think I just need to be more awake for this. Curious on the hard difficulty how much that changes.
You don't look so tough from where I'm sitting. I'll flatten you for what you've done.
But if I can kick bombs into him for him to do a load of damage, I need to try and hit every single bomb at him. Right?
I'm gonna get you to the count of 10. 1, 2, 10. Get in here. I ain't paying for you to stand around.
Oh, doesn't do damage to him. Maybe it just does damage to his cronies.
Flatten you for what you've done.
Problem being, I gotta line it up properly, which is just fiddly.
I'm gonna get you to the count of 10. 1, 2, 10. I roll with an iron fist.
There you go. Oh, one spawned on the other side. Cheeky. Is you kind of have to hit the bombs before he comes to you, because then clicking them becomes a bit of a nightmare.
Say hello to all my friends.
See, like now, like there,
I'm gonna get you to the count of 10. 1, 2, 10.
Don't go
Hit.
dying on me.
I need
Go on,
a
one more,
target.
one more. I like that. There's a lot to consider in that bigger arena. I think getting from one side of it to another, especially if I wasn't a paladin with my little horsey movement thing, get a little bit annoying. And I repentance one of those dudes. That's a good point.
You don't look so tough from where I'm sitting. I'll flatten you for what you've done.
So the bombs absolutely do not hit him, they just go through him, but
I'm gonna get you to the count of 10. 1,
triple check.
10. Say hello to all my
No.
friends.
Not close enough. As if. That still hit me from there, you bastard.
I'm gonna get you to the count of 10. 1, 2, 10. I roll with an iron fist.
We jump, Tom, run. Let me see. Invalid target. Okay. The goal to maybe keep one of them alive so he doesn't summon another wave, or is he going to summon another wave regardless? Let's see, it depends. Let's see if he spawns one right after I do that one in.
Say hello to all my friends.
Okay. Seems pretty conclusive.
I roll with an iron fist.
Jeez.
I'm out.
Oh, he heals unless I bust that shield down in time. That sucks. That's tougher for me than the Zekfia would.
My mech
Nope.
I'm gonna give you till the count of 10. 1, 2, 10.
Oh, it's slippery. Please. Shit. Okay, 2 of them went down. Let me try leaving this one up at most of his health. Crying out loud. Okay, we leave him at that and see if he summons any more dudes. How far is your flamethrower? Not the whole arena.
It's too far away.
Okay, we're still whittling him. Okay, he does summon more, so we do want to get rid of him. Hey, of course there's no stun for him. Of course there's no stun for him. Please. Fucking hate that.
I'm out of range.
Like, if I can't, like, physically click the bomb because he's on top of it, what do you want me to do, game? Help. That's absolutely going to one-shot me on the other difficulty. I imagine on the high difficulty as well, this heal is going to very much be like Zekfia's, where if he gets it all off, it's... Oh, even on this difficulty. Right, that sucks. That really sucks. Really having him rage timer though if I keep buggering it. It's getting on these super quickly with the bombs. Bang. Stood that close together, that really helps. Can't tab target the bombs either. Oh, bit of a spicy meatball. I don't even know if I got it. I imagine any other phases of the fight I need to get down. Either under 50% or the other be another difficulty. Where's his interloping moves? Oh, he's talking to me. Same again. Can't fucking click it. I like the idea. I like the idea of you chuck the bombs at it and then bang. But if I can't click the bloody thing, that just sucks. Oh, he's recharging. He didn't say his line. He didn't say the line. Oh, I barely got it. You. Oh, that was more spicy meatball. It's one of those things where I have to keep a set focus though. I have to see what he's doing. I need to save my cooldowns for when he recharges as well. Oh wait, should come up in time. Okay, right. I made a mistake. I think it's going to be less than 20 seconds. Yeah. I might be in trouble with that. Oh no, I think we just get it.
My neck is private property.
Higher difficulty we wouldn't.
Get in here. I ain't paying for you to stand around. Tick-tock, you interloper.
Okay, it's while he's still launching the bombs. This is the time to actually bubble.
Ow! Blast you for what you've done.
Okay, we've not had to deal with any dots or alt yet, which is alright.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, you interloper. I rule with an iron fist.
Okay, there goes the other one. Comes the shields. I wanted to see if the bombs would work on his bloody shield. Okay, I imagine like Zekphia, there's no phase 2 in this tier 8 version.
I rule with an iron fist. I'm gonna get you to the count of 10. 1, 2, 10. Get in here. I ain't waiting for you to stand around. Ow! Blast you for what you've done. Elsa coming.
Oh shit, that crush. If Brand's emergency supplies hadn't hit then, that would have been the end of this run. Which would have been a shame because this might be the run. At least for the tier 8 one. These things are sticking around in the arena,
It's too far away.
which I imagine might come into play more on the higher difficulty.
I rule with an iron fist.
Now, do his spawns only come in either side there, or can it be any quarter of the arena? That's why I'm moving him over to this bit to see. I bet that's way quicker of a cast too on the higher one.
Get in here. I ain't paying for you to stand around.
Okay, they do come in at any corner.
I'm out.
Ooh, I have to ignore him.
My neck is wonderful. You'll be hearing from my attorney.
Nothing to say, Brand.
That's more like it.
Gold jetpack piece. That's alright. Enjoyed that. We'll have to see how the tier 11 version stacks up. It says back to Donegal. Alright. Johnny Awesome already run away. I look forward to giving that a go on the double question mark version. I suppose I do have that weekly to do the rookery as well, but I honestly, I'm not there. Maybe I'll do it before bed today, maybe not. Let's hand in our other stuff.
Please proceed.
Loads of forgotten knowledge are within our
We did it! Ah! I'll show the world not to mess with us. To never try stealing my hat again. Ah, it feels so good to have you back. Here, take my spare hat. It didn't feel right to wear it while the other one was missing. Oh, legendary. We're gonna get legendary cosmetics, eh?
Anything I will.
Looking good, Bran. Looking good. Let's check his chests. Money. Not as good. Right. Sell some bits and bobs. Put things in the war bank.
I have an extended supply of goods for Outlanders.
Do some upgrades, ideally on the hero stuff.
My directive is to serve you.
Bum, 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 bum.
Return.
Here we go. Oh, I always forget to do the gear side of it. Decent amount done though. In fact, we got the underpin down on that go. It wasn't entirely unexpected. I mean, it still took 3 goes. It was an amusing boss fight. Again, we'll have to see what the hard version is like.
My directive.
Given how many little mechanics were going on at the sides, I imagine I certainly won't be able to get away with those few explosions that were hitting me. But the underpin's alright, I feel. See if we can upgrade ult.
We have slept long enough.
Ooh, we do have enough for some of the hero stuff. Decent amount of it. Here we got our weapon done up. Pretty nice. Jesus, that was most of my valor points. I was not paying attention. Beautiful. I'll do. Where's that leave us for item level then for this week? 648. Maybe with the Great Vault we're able to then push into tier 11s next week. That might be an idea. Oh, before I forget, let me just remove this helmet. I'd rather not have the bucket on my head. Oh, it doesn't save our Trial of Style wins for that long then. You just want the helmet off, please. Thank you. I also find it ridiculous that for a while the Trial of Styles on transmog costs a 0. I tell you, one day, one expansion, that Ethereal will be sat on a mountain of gold. He'll run off on it all. Deny us transmog. That'd be a way to get people all raiding who don't usually raid. Certainly get me in there, at least on LFR. Give me back your transmog, you bastard. Right, I think with that said though, we will call it for the morning, and I will say thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed yourselves, don't forget to hit that like button. That'll push the video through the algorithm. More folks can come, hang out, play some games with us. Subscribe for more content here on the channel. On the weekdays, we're at 9 AM GMT, World of Warcraft, between 4 and 6 in the evenings, play some other games. Tonight we'll be starting up Kill Night. And you can find playlists to all the other games we've previously covered right here on the channel. Binge to your heart's content. Let me, something stuck in my throat. Well then folks, much love, take care, till next time, bye bye.